think aside from maybe kayak debates or kayak rigging or things to do with your kayak, one of the most debated subjects when you hop on a Facebook forum that has to do with kayaking is whether you should wear a PFD or not. I just read another article today about how a dad took his two sons out for a canoe trip and the canoe flipped. I guess the dad passed away, and I think the 12-year-old ended up saving his 4-year-old brother. I could be reading that article wrong. I read it real fast and kind of inspired me to make this quick video. I have sons, I have two sons, and I have a wife, I have a family. I have a mom, I have a dad. And reading articles of people, you know, every day passing away because they didn't wear a PFD is kind of just a shame. I think what it comes down to is a little bit of selfishness, a little bit of laziness, and a little bit of feeling like you're invincible when honestly we're not. You know, one of the most common reasons why people say they don't wear a life jacket or a PFD is because, well, they can swim. You know, I'm from Florida, I'm in Louisiana right now, and before I really started wearing my PFD full time, that was my main excuse. Well, I can swim. I fish the flats in Florida. I mean, when I'm fishing for snook up in the mangroves, honestly, I'm no deeper than maybe 3 feet. A lot of times it's 1.5 feet of water. Man, if I fall, I've been born and raised in Florida. I know how to swim. I'm not a dummy. I learned how to swim since I was like the age of 4. If I fall out of my kayak, I'll just get up, rock on, and keep swimming. You know, keep swimming, keep fishing. Why do I need a life jacket to do that? It's just uncomfortable. Until somebody on a Facebook forum said, "Listen here, you smart kid. You know, what if you bust your face when you're standing up in your Hobie? You bust your face and you're in a foot of water. You go unconscious because you bust your face. You fall off your kayak and you're face down. Nobody's around. Who's gonna save you? You're just gonna drown." And I think that immediately got to me. My wife was pregnant with our first son, and I thought, man, I'm not invincible. What if I do fall down? And what if I do hit my head in 1 feet of water and I can't get home to my wife or my son that's about to be born? And I think the next time I went out, I wore a PFD. Another really common excuse for not wearing a life jacket is because they're uncomfortable. And I brought 2 life jackets out here. If you fish like me, you're fishing, 6 to 8 hour days. And if you wear something like this, this will keep you legal. If you have this, if you put this in your boat, your jet ski, your skiff, your offshore boat or whatever, this will keep you legal. But this will get uncomfortable, especially if you're wearing this for 8 hours trying to work, soft plastics, top waters, paddle, pedal, whatever you're doing. This will definitely get uncomfortable. But you shouldn't be wearing this if you're gonna be, on a boat full time or kayak fishing for 8 hours. This will definitely get uncomfortable, and I think that's a valid excuse as to why you wouldn't want to wear a PFD, because they're very uncomfortable. But if you're switching something to, more like this, that's made for kayak fishing, and I guess this video is a little bit more for the kayak fisher because that's what I'm involved in, is kayak fishing. This is not uncomfortable. This was made for kayak fishing. You can immediately tell the difference between the 2 life jackets. For one, pick this up for 60 bucks at my local kayak shop. Now I've got free range of motion. This isn't hitting the back of my neck or my head. It's that simple. It takes 2 seconds to put it on. Even pedaling, all right? Even pedaling where my knees are coming up and they're getting close, a little close to this area of my body, you would think, man, don't your knees hit your life jacket? Isn't that really uncomfortable? Honestly, guys, it's not uncomfortable. My knees don't even come close to hitting my life jacket. Not to mention the storage on it. I've got my knife right here in case I need to cut some line. I don't know, in case an alligator tries to come and attack me. I don't know, I just keep it there just for safety. It makes me feel good. I can cut things if I need to, make repairs or whatever I need to do with the blade. I usually keep my cell phone in this pocket. I keep my whistle right here. And I keep some extra hooks and things and leader in there. And when I go offshore, I tend to put my extra line and leader right there, just so I don't have to go in the back of my kayak. It's not uncomfortable at all. You know, when I was growing up playing Little League football, I never watched a TV commercial of NFL players saying, hey, you know, sometimes when I'm out in the field, I just don't wear my helmet. You know, I never heard anything like that, being a little kid playing Little League football. It's because these guys knew that they were an ambassador for the sport. You know, so many times I see people on these kayak fishing forums and they're saying, hey, you shouldn't wear, you know, you don't need to wear a PFD. Hey, here's why I don't wear a PFD. Oh, you don't need a PFD because you're in 1 foot of water. Oh, they are uncomfortable. You're absolutely correct. I can swim. Can't you? You don't need one. You know, we're supposed to be looking out for, you know, the next generation of people, and we're supposed to be setting a good example for others. You know, just because you don't wear a seatbelt because you think that you're better off being flung out of the car and your life might be saved by that, doesn't mean you should go around telling other people it's okay to not wear a seatbelt. Let's not be people who, just because we think we're invincible or because, you know, we're uncomfortable in a PFD or we can swim, so therefore we don't need to wear one. If that's your opinion, if that's my opinion, maybe that's not the best thing to kind of put out there for the public, because it could very well save their life. I understand that making a video like this and kind of drawing some of these things to light and saying some of these things like, hey, let's not say don't wear a PFD, because that sets, you know, it would set a good example if we tell people to wear a PFD even if we don't wear one. I understand how that can get some people a little frustrated or feel like I'm imposing my opinions, but guys, at the end of the day, you know, I have kids, I have a family, and as a father of my household, it's my responsibility to come home. Kayaking, you know, this isn't a full-time job. You know, a lot of us have full-time jobs. A lot of us provide for our families, whether you're a man or a woman. We're out here having fun catching fish and kayaking. It's our responsibility that even when we're having fun, to stay safe and come back home to our families. I think that dad that went out with his kids, and we hear these stories every day, I think that dad that went out with his kids, he probably thought, here son, let me put a PFD on you so that you're safe. Here son, let me put a PFD, you're 12 years old, make sure you're safe. I don't need a PFD. And maybe that's not exactly how it turned out. They're not really releasing all the details, but there's plenty of stories like that, and it's really a shame because lives are being lost on a weekly basis from people who don't want to practice safety. So I guess my ask, you know, as somebody who is heavily involved in the industry right now, is please wear a life jacket. Please wear a PFD. It could save your life. If you don't wear a PFD, don't tell somebody else to not wear a PFD. If you don't wear a PFD, don't broadcast that on Facebook, on Instagram, and say, hey, you're in a foot of water. You don't need that. Or here's why I don't wear one. There's no need to defend why you don't wear one. Just simply don't wear one. And if you decide, you know, I'm not going to wear a seatbelt, even though I think that's breaking the law, you don't need to broadcast to people, here's why you don't need a seatbelt. Tell them they need a seatbelt. You know, I understand that might be a little hypocritical, but it could save a life. So, anyways, thanks for wearing your PFDs. Thanks for watching this video. Hey, if this video spoke to you or maybe inspired you a little bit to maybe wear your PFD, pass it on. You know, maybe if you have some friends in your life that you know they bring kids on the water, tell them, hey, don't just put PFDs on your kids, put one on yourself. Because how are you supposed to make sure and ensure their safety if you're not being safe? It's just something to think about. So thanks for watching this video. Maybe give it a share if you would. Maybe spread a little bit more safety. I'm sure there's many more opinions and many more facts and all these different things on why you should wear a PFD, but those were just a little bit of my thoughts. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and share this video if you would.